Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephen Howson, and this is 5 things that we learned watching Manchester United beat Fulham last night. Number 1, another record under Ole. The win at Fulham marks 17 Premier League away games without defeat for Manchester United, which equals yet another record under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. United have now gone and matched the 17-game unbeaten away run that we had in the treble season, which extended into September of the following season. And we can go one better if we avoid defeat at Arsenal next week. Throughout the run, United have scored 38 goals, conceded only 14, and it's been a major factor in why we are currently sitting top of the table. Number 2, it was a poor goal to concede. United have looked better defensively in recent weeks, despite Ole's insistence on seemingly rotating his centre-halves, which I think some centre-halves would have a lot to say about that, but it's what he's doing and it seemingly works at the moment. But Fulham's opener was a very poor goal to concede, with probably a few players that are culpable for it. Pogba, for some reason, was in the defensive line, and there is absolutely no excuse for why Paul Pogba is in the defensive line in that sort of phase of play. And arguably, if Paul Pogba's further up the pitch, maybe he's actually putting pressure on the ball player that played it through for Lookman to get on the end of it. Maguire and Bailly shouldn't have allowed Paul Pogba to be the one that Lookman went up and lined up against. And actually, if he'd have taken, either of those had taken responsibility of that, launched Paul Pogba out of the defensive line, you might have seen an entirely different outcome altogether with that. But Lookman did line up against Paul Pogba. It left a massive gap because Paul Pogba just doesn't have the natural tendencies to follow him when he makes a run like that. He's not alert or looking for those sorts of runs. He puts it through and he slots it home past David De Gea. Maguire was pulled away into the space. Pogba seemingly let him get away, and United were lucky that it didn't cost us come full time. Number 3, Pogba was sublime. Pogba's either loving football at United again or he is playing for a move, and I suspect it could be a little bit of both, to be honest. He tops off another good performance in midfield with a stunning winning goal, a very important goal from Paul Pogba. He completed 100% of his take-ons, 85% pass accuracy, made 21 final third passes, 9 ball recoveries, and won 4 out of 5 attempted tackles. That's an actual midfielder. It's not an attacking player like the sort of numbers you see Bruno being pulled up with. This is someone that's doing stuff at both ends of the pitch, arguably too far back for the first goal, but he's working in both areas of the pitch. I think Pogba can be an extremely effective number 8 in many teams. I was having a conversation with someone this morning, and I was talking about how I think United really could move to that single pivot midfield 3 and really benefit from it. Pull Bruno just back a little bit, but give him the license to get beyond as a false 9. Give Paul Pogba the attacking freedom, and once United's transition fully completes from being a counter-attacking side that looks to play on the break to being a side that dominates possession, then you'll start to see both of those two really start to create chances for the free forwards around them. I think United have got to fix that right-hand side and find that first choice, when he's fit, he plays kind of player. But I think just as important, finding a replacement for Matic, because it's not Fred and it's not McTominay. A world-class number 6. Like a Fernandinho, like a Makalele, like a Kante, someone in that kind of mould, like a Michael Carrick. That's not necessarily the most aggressive, but has got a good defensive mind and can play the ball forward with quality when he needs to. Someone that can sit in that hole and dictate play from deep and allow these guys to get forward and be creative. That's when Manchester United will have arrived. And I think you can upgrade various parts in defence as well. But that's when Manchester United have arrived. When we're able to put a single pivot in the bigger games, instead of having to play McTominay and Fred to deal with the threats that the opposition pose. When we've got the confidence to put a single pivot in there and 2 attack-minded players like Pogba, like Bruno, and start to play our football. We're not there yet. But I can see what Solskjaer is trying to accomplish. Now, whether or not Paul Pogba's the man that ends up taking that position as we go forward, I don't know. And I don't know if Donny van de Beek is the long-term replacement for Paul Pogba, and Pogba's just playing his way into making sure United get a good fee for him when he leaves. Again, I don't know. I've got suspicions, but I don't know. The second half strike yesterday for Paul Pogba was massive. It was massive for United and it was massive for Paul Pogba. Just after a week after his winner at Burnley, if he can continue this vein of form, It takes the pressure off Bruno, who's been in and out of form a little bit of late, probably in need of a rest. And it gives teams a nightmare. Paul Pogba, Bruno. That should be the basis of an exceptional midfield. Two phenomenal players with totally different characteristics. Can they play together? Yes, they can. Finding the right sort of pockets for Pogba, especially if he can pick the ball up like he did on the right-hand side of the box yesterday and smash it home like he did last night. Any team in the world would love them. And I hope that the pandemic affects everyone's finances, and if United have said to him, yeah, if someone comes in and matches that offer, you can go, and then nobody comes in and matches that offer. Although I doubt we see him sign a new deal. So there's a lot of things to be decided with what goes on with him, but I'm loving seeing him play for Manchester United at the moment, and I don't think enough praise goes to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I remember doing a video, that's it. It's all over with Paul Pogba. His agents come out and said, yeah, he's gone. He's gone in the summer. And now Ole could have made a massive fuss out of that. He could have dropped him. He could have bit back in the media. He could have done a lot of things. And what he's actually done is played him. He's played him, and look how well Pogba is playing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's handling of this entire situation has been flawless. So hats off to Ole for that. Number 4, Cavani's influence. Cavani's been an absolute breath of fresh air for United. It's something entirely different. And we saw glimpses of this with Ighalo. Something entirely different. And I'm not comparing the two players in terms of ability, but we saw just having a different style of number 9 really brought something out in Manchester United and give us an extra gear. Cavani's doing similar things, but he's doing things at a much higher level than what we saw with Ighalo. He's showing us what a sole striker can do, what a number 9, what a poacher can do. His movement, his desire to win the ball back. Those are just two aspects of his performance which stand out. But he's now got more league goals than Anthony Martial this season, despite making 9 fewer starts. He's averaged a goal contribution every 85 minutes in the Premier League so far. And while he offers something totally different up top, he seems to be exactly the mould of a striker that United need and probably should be looking to replace with a younger version when it comes. And I want to ask you guys, famously, we've had the curse of the number 7 since Michael Owen. Has Cavani removed the curse? And if he hasn't removed the curse, then what does he need to do for that curse to have been removed? Does he need to get to 10 goals? Because I think he could get to 10 goals quite comfortably. And number 5, interesting run ahead. So Liverpool again in the FA Cup on Sunday. Once that's out of the way, United have got a very interesting run of 5 games before our Europa League campaign. Remember that? Gets going again. Now, in normal circumstances, 3 home games, Sheffield United, Southampton, Everton, you see them as quite winnable. However, United's unconvincing form at home has got to be in people's minds, and they could all prove to be tight battles. Sheffield United are better than their league record. I'm not necessarily say position, but certainly their record suggests. Everton are anyone's guess that they're within nothing of the top. And I would say Southampton have been quite unlucky at times this season, and certainly were hard work for when we played them. So on the road, United have also got to travel to Arsenal and West Brom. If we can get through that collection of results, top spot could still be ours with only 14 games left to play in the season. And that's the sort of period where I was saying to you, 20, 25 games in, 25 games in-ish, that's the sort of time when I can actually start talking to you guys about it being potentially a title charge. Every single league game is vital for United now. We just have to hang in with this pack. There's a big group of players. You've seen the lead changed hand 3 times yesterday. You want to see United hang in to this pack. And if we can hang in this pack just longer than a handful of others, we'll secure our space in the top 2 or 3, or maybe 4. We'll make sure we're in the Champions League for next season. And then if 4 or 5 games to go, you're still within winnable distance of it, let's fucking go for it.